The Hall of Fame owner and general manager is brought to you by Built for Texas, built for you. Good morning, Jerry. How are you?
Good, Sean, RJ, Bobby, and congratulations. Those Rangers aren't I'm just absolutely I have to pinch myself that those guys are playing at this level, and it really looks good for our future, especially these next few weeks.
When is the last time that you attended a baseball game in person?
It's probably been a couple of years, and I've actually, because of our relationship with Legends, the Yankees and the Cowboys are involved in a company called Legends that basically service stadiums all over the world. And I, from time to time, will find myself up there in that Yankees box, believe it or not, with some of that great tradition as well. But make no mistake about it, I'm a Rangers fan, dyed and through.
When you see a team, locally make the championship, does that? Obviously, you're happy for them. You're probably friends with these owners. Is there also a competitive, healthy jealousy that also is in play there?
Oh, I think it's fair to. Really, I think it's more of an appreciation for how hard it is to do, and I would say that. Our fans might think differently about it, but I would say that. And no, it is when you have this kind of interest in sports, it lifts all boats, and there's no question that it's a lift to just my town against your town, Dallas, the entire North Texas area against the rest of the country, and that's alive and well with this great World Series we've got coming up here. It's more of that. You don't really, if you're in my shoes, if you looked around at sports in general and thought any team or any sport was excelling, and that gave you too much of a competitive jealousy, then you'd stay jealous all the time. And so the point is that it's exciting to see what happens when it comes together. It's hard, it's rare. When it does come together, you need to celebrate it, and boy, this needs celebrating.
So, Jerry,
your success.
Are you making appointments to watch the game beginning to end, or are you just kind of checking in on it? How invested are you in their playoff run?
Well, I stay aware of it. I look at it. I'm near communication all day long, just like most of us are, if you want to include that cell phone. So I'll follow them closely.
Jerry, we talked to Alex Rodriguez last week. He was previewing things with us, and he mentioned before just how much he values getting the chance to talk to you and meet with you and get your business insight and things like that. He also mentioned to us that he's mentoring Micah Parsons right now and has had several meetings with him. How important is it to you to develop those types of relationships with guys like A-Rod and then to have them pass on that knowledge to your players like Micah?
Well, of course, A-Rod is a former neighbor of mine, and in Dallas, and we live pretty close to each other when we lived here. But we've got time, as far as quite a bit of time that we go back, and of course, I respect him to no end. Certainly, he was one of the most distinguished players ever to play the game, but he's one of the great personalities of the game today, and that has been. And so I enjoy visiting with him, and we have, on occasion, really got to sit down and talk about the nuances of professional sports and many aspects of it. And he'd be at the top of my list of guys that I respect and enjoy communicating and talking with.
Who throws the best house parties on your block in your neighborhood?
Well, I know this. We have a curfew around here for music, and I'm not so sure that it's followed a lot. I've got Harlan Crow that is his parents, Trammell, are my next-door neighbor. His parents are deceased, but the home that they had has since got another great new neighbor. And but I've got some great neighbors around here, and you want to be sure and but take over some sugar every now and then, and when you're looking around. But seriously, it's a great neighborhood.
Jerry Jones here with Sean and RJ every Tuesday on 105.3 The Fan. So give us a little bye-week reflection, Jerry. First 6 games, how did you feel it went, and where would you like to see the most improvement or adjustments through the second half?
Well, I would have liked to have played better against the 49ers, and of course watched with interest this entire weekend's games, but certainly that one last night. And you see that it's a team step up there and play like Minnesota did, their quarterback did. But there can be had, the 49ers I'm talking about. And then you also see a Minnesota team like last night that needs to be reckoned with as you go down the road. Hello, NFL. And so I look at where we are, 4-2. I will take it for sure. And we've got better football ahead of us. I don't doubt that at all. No one should doubt that. And we're getting better. And consequently, we've obviously given our team several things to improve in, but we're going to get better. And we can get better when we get in there close in the red zone. We can frankly, we can do some things on big plays. Big plays have been a demon, a nemesis for us in a serious way. They always are, but they have been for this team. And I think we can eliminate some of those big plays. I think we can do a better job of we can get better, not a better job, but just get better when we get in close. And we have got, boy, do we have a tough schedule ahead of us. And so it's going to be week to week.
Jerry, will there be major adjustments made philosophically to get the red zone in big plays offensively, or that stuff is already in there and it's just a matter of execution?
Well, I think it's important to adjust for who we're playing, and I don't think you excuse that any question. But we go week to week on making those adjustments. But I do think that just from execution and from technique, we'll get better.
Jerry, I liked Mike's formula with what he was talking about and preaching early in the year. Defense is one. We're going to control, limit turnovers, and run the football. I really liked it when I thought that the defense was potentially special before Diggs went down. So my current question to you is your defense still good enough to play the way that Coach wants offensively?
Well, you mean is it as good as we had hoped it would be?
Yeah.
Not still good enough, but as hoped it would be. Now, you have to be realistic when you recognize that with our teams are going to come at us in the run game. That's a given. And so can we, as our personnel gets games under its belt, will we be better on the run? And I believe we certainly will be. We've got some players that size up in the middle. We got some players that are got the skill set that can evolve and play better. So I think we can do a better job against the run. And scheme will have something to do with that as well. So that's yes. I think we can play better defense, and I've got a chance. And not that has been the one thing that we're missing. We're across the board with areas that we can improve in, and so in that sense, I am looking forward to looking forward to how we evolve. Again, it's going to be week to week for us. But when we started this season, if you had told me we would be 4-2 at this particular time with these things staring at us, the challenges or the lack of some of the challenges that could be out there, I'd give it, I don't want to start over. Let's take what we got.
So when you see a team like a San Fran lose to a team we think is bad in Minnesota, or Philadelphia lose to a Jets team that you guys handle pretty easily, does that kind of ease the pain of an Arizona loss, knowing that this happens throughout the league?
Well, first of all, your question was when you see a team like San Francisco, that's the loss I was thinking of when I was watching San Francisco. and so that doesn't ease that pain. No. Those first of all, on our record, those losses will bite you, boy. They'll be there at the end, and you'll wish you had one of them that you could have gotten back. So I think I look at that. On the other hand, what I look at more than anything is how we're playing, and are we evolving? And our principally is, do we have young players that are stepping up and getting better? That's paramount, and we do.
Jerry, do you still feel like you guys belong in that upper echelon conversation of NFC contenders with Philly and San Fran today? Do you feel that way?
Well, we belong in the upper echelons. I'm not going to say that we belong on the field with San Fran, and we haven't played Philly, but I'm anticipating Philadelphia being what they look like. And so I don't want to go that far, but we're in the upper echelon.
Jerry, Dak played probably his best game of the year against the Chargers. Just, really efficient, made a lot of big throws. Does this team, do you think, is their success going to be dependent on Dak's level of play? So in terms of, are you guys only going to go as far as Dak's play will allow you to go?
Yeah, but I think Dak will go, can elevate his play with his supporting cast. And that's trite even almost to say that, but it will elevate his play as we have better execution in the offensive line. We've got some things to work on from last week in the offensive line. But his play will elevate as he gets help, which is not help, but as we have less breakdown and more success there. And then, of course, big play and field position that the defense would like to provide is a big part of what can make Dak tick. And you're just hearing it said with different ways, with different voice inflections coming from me as opposed to Mike. But they got to complement each other and got to complement at the right time. And so, but I think we have a group that, again, is evolving. I think we have a coaching staff that can make the adjustments that need to be made not only week to week, but in the ball game. And I think we've got the flexibility in our repertoire of plays on both sides of the ball to make adjustments during ball games. That's a lot to say right there.
Jerry, when you look at the trade deadline coming up for Halloween, there's been a lot of national discussion out there, different articles written saying, it looks like the Cowboys could be one of the more aggressive teams out there on the deadline. Do you anticipate making any moves over the next week or investigating any of that?
It'll have to come our way. I don't want to preclude it in any way, but it always does. You have a lot of machinations that you're working with every day. I do. And but the initiation of an opportunity to make a trade at this time that would help us principally has to start over on the other end. And so that's not showing a lack of aggressiveness. It's just that's where it starts. I like where we are with our personnel today, and so I'm not thinking in any way that we need to upgrade our roster.
Jerry Jones here on The Fan. I'm curious, Jerry, if you could take us into a second layer of that. Philosophically, why react to someone bringing the trade to you versus saying, we know this is an area, we should go out and get this? Why that philosophy?
Well, again, it's you're laying in wait, so to speak. I have areas on the team that, but we could, if certain circumstances happen, that you might improve. So you, though, know that your best chance to get it done is when it comes by you and you grab it. So that's just generally speaking. To go out and push it, the odds of getting it done at the price or the trade conditions or the just the price that you would expect is dreaming.
Jerry, we ask you this every year, and I know what your answer is going to be, but we have to ask it for the first time this year. The reputation was, Jerry Jones, gambler, he's going to overpay, he's going to go overboard, he's going to outrule everyone. And now the Cowboy reputation out there is, way too conservative and they're not going to be aggressive whatsoever? To that, you say what?
If you looked at the overall picture, you would see risk taking very much in my profile and very much in our profile. And I'm confident that we've got the balance right. There are times when you take more risk, you go forward a little bit. There are times when you kind of keep it close to the vest. I don't lose a lot of sleep over whether I'm leaning too far one way or the other there at all. I've just been around too long.
Are you that different of an owner today than you were 15, 25 years ago in that stance, in that regard?
Not as to taking risk. Not as to taking risk, which I think is where you kind of are looking to see here this morning, but not as to taking risk. No, I took huge risks just to get here. And our best, frankly, our best success has been when we were probably had the opportunity and made some decisions that had risk involved with them. I don't base a decision based upon, this is a good decision because it's got a lot of risk involved. I don't do that at all. And as a matter of fact, more often than not, you didn't know sometimes the kind of risk you might have been dealing with when you made your trade or made your decision. So, all of that is, what is all of that? What is all of that is that no pain, no gain, so to speak. And so if you're not got a little bit of ambiguity in the decision, then you're probably not advancing.
Jerry Jones here on The Fan. Jerry, are you and Steven more opposite or similar in terms of this discussion that we're having, making a deal, being aggressive, searching for it, or changing up your roster?
Well, I have a lot of respect. I give a lot of deference to Steven's decisions, or not decisions, but his ideas and his direction that he's leaning. And I give a lot of deference to that. We've been around a lot of very similar people. We've been around the same people for a lot of times. And then he has a perspective that I don't. Steven's a chemical engineer. I used to walk 5 blocks around that engineering building when I was in school. Just didn't want to even come close to getting in that thing. And so my point is, you should listen to him. I should listen to him.
Jerry, when you look at, you say that it'd have to come to you guys. When you look at going out to make a trade, are you more likely to be aggressive in that sense and pursue that when your team you feel like is underperforming, or when you feel like they're on the cusp and you're trying to push them over the edge?
Both. I would really extend to improve our team right now. So that gives you an idea, because I think we have a team that's a contender. So I would do it right now. Would I do something that would take away from this team so that it could help us in the future? Probably not.
Jerry Jones, right here on 105.3 The Fan. Keep the noise down for the house parties, and we hope to see you in Arlington for one of these World Series games.
Mother called. I had a graduation party for Charlotte, and boy, did all the security and police came to shut it down. And I was talking to my mother the next morning, and she lived in a rural area, and I said, Mama, I can't believe my neighbors. I just can't believe they wouldn't let me have my party for Charlotte for her graduation. She said, oh, son, don't get hard on your neighbors. Probably wasn't them at all. Good music will get in these hollers, and it will travel for several miles. Those complaints could have been coming from miles away, so don't get mad at your neighbors. Music will get in the holler.
Jerry, thank you for the quotes as always. We appreciate you, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you, guys. Bye.